And by the way, out there, that hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says Make America Great Again, that tells people that you go along with this. So, you might as well just put a swastika on the hat. I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap because I think you can hate Donald Trump, but you can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. Bill Maher is tearing through the hosts of The View like it's his favorite hobby at this point. It's hard to imagine him being invited back on the show anytime soon. First, he took Sunny Hostin down in the most spectacular way, completely obliterated Whoopi Goldberg, and now Joy Behar. It looks like Maher is on a roll, and his fans are loving every minute of it. So, what did Joy Behar say to get on his radar, and how did Maher clap back this time? We've got all the juicy details, so stay with us as we break it all down. That red hat that says Make America Great Again tells people that you go along with this. So, you might as well just put a swastika on the hat. Don't do that, not because we see it that way anyway. Well, I think some people resent the question. Like, what don't you get? Look, I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap because I think you can hate Donald Trump, but you can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country. And I don't hate half the country. How dare you? Right off the bat, Bill Maher shatters Joy Behar's arguments, which aim to project Trump as a racist. Behar boldly claimed that those who wore Trump's signature MAGA hats were no different from Nazis flaunting swastikas on their sleeves. Maher, known for his sharp wit and no-nonsense approach, quickly dismantled the comparison. He pointed out the dangers of such hyperbolic statements, highlighting how they trivialize the atrocities of the Nazi regime while alienating millions of Americans who simply support Trump for reasons unrelated to race. Maher further argued that conflating political slogans with symbols of genocide doesn't foster dialogue, it deepens the divide. He called for a more nuanced conversation, one that focuses on actions and policies rather than labels that shut down debate by reducing complex issues to oversimplified accusations. Maher argued that the left risks undermining its own credibility. Maher shredded Behar's arguments so thoroughly that even The View's audience, her loyal home turf, couldn't resist applauding him. Desperate to save face, Behar fired back with a classic "How dare you disagree with me" retort, dripping with indignation. But the damage was done. Maher had already dismantled her logic, leaving her arguments sprawled on the floor like a pinata that lost the party fight. But if there's one thing we know about the woke mob, it's that they're like weeds. You cut one down today, and a more ridiculous one pops up tomorrow. So, on Maher's next visit to The View's, Behar treated it like her Super Bowl, a chance to finally one-up him. But Maher came prepared, armed with receipts and ready to mow the lawn again. I'm nervous about saying anything against Biden because I feel, not that I have so much power and you have some, more than I do, obviously, but I don't know about that. Are you afraid that you might, influence people who are on the fence? I think you lose all credibility. You've got to hand it to Bill Maher for his sheer nerve. Seriously, who else has the audacity to waltz into The View and call out Joy Behar on her own turf? The man deserves a trophy, or at least a standing ovation. Anyway, back to the substantive issue. Here's Behar admitting she hesitates to criticize Biden because, heaven forbid, she might sway undecided voters toward Trump. Well, congratulations, Joy, you've just confirmed what we've all been saying for months. It's not that Biden is flawless, it's that the left has collectively decided to slap on blinders, refusing to hold him accountable. Why? So they can bask in the smug satisfaction of their perfect president ruling the roost. But listen to Bill Maher's classic response. I mean, my bond with my audience has always been, I don't pull a punch. My bond with my audience, you're not going to like everything I say, but I'm saying what I really think is true. No lies detected here. Bill Maher has always stuck to his guns, taking aim at Biden and the woke mob even when it meant stepping into uncomfortable territory. He's practically stared down the woke brigade, pointing out the cracks in their culture, tradition, and approach without flinching. Maher was one of the rare voices on the left who called Trump's victory when everyone else was drinking the Biden landslide Kool-Aid. That gave him the moral high ground to call out Joy Behar's blatant hypocrisy and her refusal to criticize Biden, even when she knows he's riddled with flaws. Maher's unapologetic stance isn't just bold, it's a masterclass in keeping your integrity intact while navigating the political minefield. For example, check out how Maher described Biden's presidency. Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair, no, because he's almost the same age, Trump is almost the same age as him, but Trump doesn't present that way. You know, you look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old. Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like. But his brain is good. He's still great. Woo. The nerve of Bill Maher comparing Biden to a cadaver is a level of boldness that deserves its own TED Talk. But honestly, is Maher wrong? How many times have we seen Biden pull bizarre public stunts that leave everyone scratching their heads? Remember the time he wandered off stage after a speech, looking lost as though he'd forgotten where he was? Or when he inexplicably tried to shake hands with thin air after finishing remarks? Or the odd time that he tried to smell a journalist's hair? These moments have sparked endless memes and debates, with many attributing them to his age, while the media tries to brush it off. Maher's unflinching commentary forces us to confront the elephant, or should we say the senior citizen, in the room. And did you hear Joy Behar's defense of Biden? She literally said, Biden has a good brain, whatever that means. Honestly, nobody does a better job at defending poor decisions and choices than the woke mob. The conservative one said to me, what you guys on the liberal side of it don't get about Donald Trump is, we don't like him either. Yeah, it's just that, in this country, it's binary. They see Donald Trump as a bulwark against. You know, and that stuff is a lot closer to home. Bill Maher is a leftist, but unlike many of his peers, he actually understands why millions of Americans voted for Trump and is not demonizing them for it. Maher cast his vote for Kamala Harris. He recognizes that the right views Trump as a bulwark against the tidal wave of woke absurdities, and honestly, they're not wrong. Trump represents a lifeline to those who see the country's moral foundation eroding under the weight of far-left ideologies. Whether it's the constant redefining of basic truths or the crusade to cancel anyone with differing opinions, these theories are driving the nation into cultural quicksand. Maher's ability to empathize with the other side while holding firm to his own beliefs is what sets him apart. My kid is coming home from school, and they're not allowed to tell me if they're transitioning. The school is going to take the side of the kid over the parent. Stuff like that. There is a lot of crazy stuff on the left. That's the answer to the Donald Trump situation. Bill Maher has a knack for calling it like it is, and one of his most biting observations is how Joy Behar and the woke party practically handed Trump his re-election on a silver platter. Take the idea that men can get pregnant. For example, nothing screams relatable to middle America like being told biology is a social construct. Then there's the defund the police movement, a genius plan to solve crime by removing the people who stop it. Maher has repeatedly pointed out that these woke crusades don't just alienate the average voter, they practically shove them into Trump's camp. And who can blame them? When you're more concerned about pronouns than paychecks or safety, you're bound to lose touch with reality. Maher doesn't sugarcoat it. The left's obsession with these out-of-touch ideas is why Trump became the savior for those fed up with the absurdity. It's as if the woke mob wrote his campaign ads for free. A cursory look at the comments section revealed some very interesting takes, like this commenter who's bent on annoying Joy Behar with this little stunt. I don't wear a MAGA hat. I never have. But if I walked by Joy Behar every morning while getting my coffee, I would buy one and put it on specifically for her, and that's it. Others were also impressed with Bill Maher's transformation over the years. One wrote, "Watching Bill's transformation is amazing. He literally just mirrored what Jordan Peterson said to him years ago on Maher's own show. Maher was bagging Trump supporters, and Peterson flat out said, 'That's half of America, Bill. You can't ignore them.'" One fan summarized the whole Bill Maher-Joy Behar encounter with this funny comment. "It is ironic that the most bitter woman on television is named Joy." Then this fan capped it all off with, "She'll lose all credibility." Hilarious, she's lost all credibility except to the empty-headed warlings. They hate inflation, they hate riots, they hate black women, and they hate trans people. Oh God, John, we're not, dude. They just spent hundreds of millions of dollars humanizing trans people, and that's disgusting. Yeah, we shouldn't talk politics. This interview was painfully cringeworthy, and trust us, we've done a whole deep dive into it, so be sure to check it out. But we had to highlight the bizarre statements Hollywood celebrities keep churning out. Take John Cena, for instance, boldly claiming that Biden lost the election because Americans hate black women. Wait, what? How does he even cooks up these theories? Does he have a conspiracy board at home with strings connecting random headlines? It's almost impressive how Hollywood exists in this insulated bubble, floating high above reality like it's a cloud of sage smoke at a Malibu retreat. These celebrities, sheltered by their gated mansions and million-dollar paychecks, seem utterly oblivious to the struggles of the average American. Gas prices, inflation. Try explaining that to someone whose biggest problem is deciding between vacationing in the Maldives or Bali. Instead, they pontificate on identity politics as if the nation's biggest issue is how woke we can get. Honestly, it's like they're auditioning for roles in a parody of themselves. I remember one older woman who was very anti-immigration, and I remember she drove me bad, but I feel like I zinged her a couple of times. I was like, "You're an old lady." I think that was the height of my rep, but who looks stupid now? Yes, exactly. No, I mean, I think the whole country, even unless you're, like, stupid woke, I hope you're not. But is Hollywood somewhat stupidly woke? It's always fascinating to watch Bill Maher effortlessly dismantle his woke colleagues with the simplest of traps. See how Maher had Jon Cryer admitting to being stupid woke without even breaking a sweat. It's like watching a cat play with a mouse, except the mouse walks into the trap wearing a t-shirt that says, "I deserve this." Maher's genius lies in his ability to expose the logical inconsistencies in woke ideology with just a few well-placed questions. He doesn't yell or rant, he lets his guests talk themselves into a corner. And Cryer? Oh, he fell for it beautifully. Maher simply nudged the conversation, and before you knew it, Cryer was out there defending ideas so absurd they'd make a philosophy professor quit their job. This moment wasn't just about calling out Cryer. It was a broader commentary on how detached Hollywood's woke elite can be. These folks, who often enjoy lives of unimaginable privilege, are so eager to outdo one another in wokeness that they end up championing ideas that alienate the very people they claim to support. Maher understands this disconnect and knows how to shine a spotlight on it, making his guests and the audience realize just how far removed they've become from everyday Americans. It's not just entertainment, it's a masterclass in common sense. If it's got a dick, it's probably a boy. Well, again, the people that go through it don't say, "This is the life I want." No parent wants to be in the midst of those choices. Children don't know about anything. Yes, sometimes it is obvious, and we should address it that way. But kids, Christ almighty. The woke mob has become a running joke, a caricature of itself, and anyone who takes them seriously is on a fast track to failure, just like the Democrats. Their outlandish ideas and relentless virtue signaling might win applause in Twitter echo chambers, but in the real world, it's a recipe for disaster. Instead of addressing actual issues that matter to everyday Americans, they focus on promoting absurd ideologies that alienate more people than they attract. The Democrats' willingness to pander to this crowd is why they keep fumbling at the polls. After all, when your platform revolves around canceling everyone who disagrees with you and ignoring common sense, you're not exactly inspiring confidence. If they don't change course, they're destined to keep losing the hearts, minds, and votes of the very people they claim to represent.